Well, with climate change forcing the global energy market to explore more sustainable means of doing business, Managing Director of the Barbados-based company MPC Caribbean Clean Energy Limited, Mr. Martin Vogt, says governments have a responsibility to ensure that companies are not undermining their efforts towards clean energy. Janine Browne has more in this report.
It's no secret that Trinidad and Tobago is an oil and gas economy, a reality which directly impacts our carbon footprint.
Trinidad and Tobago has obviously the luxury that it has own natural resources. So the pressure is to a lower degree than in other countries where they have to import with hard currency these fossil fuels.
Managing Director of MPC Caribbean Clean Energy Limited, Martin Vogt, says from both a business and environmental standpoint, adjusting the way the energy sector operates is no longer just an option.
I think the government made really good inroads in focusing now on energy efficiency. So Trinidad and Tobago has a very high carbon footprint per GDP capita, and you can reduce that footprint by replacing fossil fuel generation by renewable energy, or you can reduce it by reducing the overall energy consumption. So and the government has chosen the second approach.
But with international energy companies operating here, Mr. Vogt says government has an additional responsibility to ensure compliance.
At the end, most of these companies simply serve their shareholders, and it's actually the governments that needs to set the right regulatory framework and also force these companies to take actions, because you can't necessarily expect that they come up with this on their own.
Nevertheless, the managing director believes there's a potential market for renewable energy. With the company having recently completed Paradise Park, a solar project in Jamaica, Mr. Vogt assesses that similar can happen in Trinidad and Tobago in as early as the next 2 years. The company recently opened an IPO of cross-listed shares between Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica to raise funds to facilitate more renewable energy projects in the region. The subscription, Mr. Vogt says, was more than expected.
So in the beginning we anticipated a 3% dividend yield, and now we are distributing a 9% dividend yield. So I think you can say we did pretty well this year.
The initial goal of $50 million came in at $11.6 million. Dividend payouts began on September 27, 2019. Janine Browne, TTT News.